This podcast is brought to you by Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series. Do you like violence? Do you like smut? Are you tired of the stereotypical novels of werewolf romance out there and want something a little bit different? Then pick up Sparked Revolution, Book 1 in the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Available on Amazon, in Kindle, and paperback. You too can become a sponsor of Stories, The True and the Fictional by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Stories, The True and the Fictional, first one of 2025. How are we going, Ryan?
Oh, living the dream, mate, living the dream. Absolutely can't believe it's 2025 already, and I can't believe I'm 43 in like a month. I'm an old bugger. Lucky I have that youthful skin, you know what I mean? Like that oil of Olay or whatever the hell it's called, skincare. But yeah, man, I'm going good. Had a good New Year's. I was asleep by 9 o'clock. It was fantastic. There was fireworks apparently right outside my window, just near Parramatta Park. Did not hear or see anything like that. So yeah, it was awesome New Year's. Good Christmas, caught up with family and friend, obviously you. We went and saw Sonic, and yeah, pretty good, man. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, mine was pretty chill. I just, I don't do anything over the holidays because it's chaos. I had a guy at work say, oh, he's going to Brisbane for New Year's or what. I'm going, like, good luck with that. But yeah, no, it's pretty good, pretty cozy one with family. Didn't do too much, watched a lot of cool movies, started working on my next book. That's cool. More on that later. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us. Check out our sponsors, Rebecca Cassells, Martin Kearns. They got some great books out. And yeah, today's episode, we have, and I hope I'm saying this right, because Ryan was talking about how we pronounce your name, but he says Charlotte Chaos.
Chaos.
So it's got to be that epic chaos.
I get that recorded. Can he send that to me? I'm going to use that as all my intros from now on.
Well, we do have a friend who's on our other episodes called Chris, and he's had voice training, like acting and all that, so he can do lots of voices. So maybe we'll make him say it because he can go quite deep.
Ooh, I like it. I'm down with that.
Anyway, Charlotte, how are we?
Well, we're doing good over here on the other side of the world from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What's it feel like to be in the future?
Well, we're in the future a lot.
Every day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So is it true about Florida? There's like alligators everywhere.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
They are. We live near Lake Jessup, which is the most alligator infested lake. So we have actually seen them in the lake. You can get gator to eat around here.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's very delicious. You want it blackened, not like grilled or it gets too chewy. But we have been out on the boat and like seen their beady little eyeballs pop up. Absolutely. Seen them on the beaches, or not the beaches, but the grass by the lakes. We call it beaches. We go swimming in the lake. We like to live dangerously.
Wow.
The kid goes tubing. But we've usually, when we stop and swim, it's by a bunch of people. So the thought is that maybe they'll go first. Yes. Yes. Usually if you go by the older people, they can't move as quick.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, you only have to be as fast as the person in front of you. So,
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You go by like the 70-year-old grandma who's out there.
And they're old anyway, so, they've had a full life. They can just be food for the alligators.
Well, my grandma, okay, and this is like going way back, but I was in high school, and of course we lived near beaches, so there are sharks too. We were at the beach with my parents, and my grandma's out there, and she's got her like little belt life preserver thing out there doing her exercise in the damn ocean, and the shark is just chilling by. I mean, not a small shark, like, a good old 6-footer. And we're screaming at her to get out of the water. We're like, get out of the water, Grandma. I'm like racing in because I was out with her. I'm like, I'm going to die. The lifeguard, everything. And my grandma's just like, it's not going to eat me. I'm too tough and old. And you know what? It didn't eat her. It just
Swam on
went on
by.
by.
Nice.
They
I
want
was
some of
like,
that
wow.
they look at us like lambs and sheep. Like they want the younger the better, right?
Well, I mean, Ryan and I are close in age, so I think we're like cross that threshold where we're going to be kind of tough right now. So maybe
Yeah,
they're not going to want us.
yeah, yeah. They like it.
That's my
I think that when Jamie asked that question of you about alligators in Florida, I thought, oh, is that just like people asking us if we have kangaroos in our backyard? And like it's just something that's synonymous with
Mm,
Florida, with the Everglades and everything like that. And I think it's played up a lot, but there you go. You actually
yeah.
do have
Hey,
gators everywhere.
I see a lot of videos. Like this didn't just start with Happy Gilmore, but
No, like they're in retention ponds. Like you have a
yeah,
retention, any body of water, a freaking puddle, and you're gonna find
yeah.
one. So it is, and we have these boas now, I believe, and wild hogs down in the
Mm.
Everglades that they like pay people to go kill. It's like Florida's a dumpster fire, and it's also the penis of the United States. So we have all of that working against us.
And I suppose you must be loving it being winter at the moment, or is it still dreadfully humid and hot over there?
Yes, it's fantastic right now. Today was maybe like in the 60s and sunny,
Oh,
and the summer is miserable.
yeah.
And that's
I don't know.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's
I've
right
got
now.
like 60 because we're
It's
we're
51
old school.
degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're in the middle of summer at the moment. It hasn't been too bad, but we've had some pretty humid days over the last couple of weeks. It's just been absolutely disgusting. But I do feel for you over there because anywhere where there's a lot of swamplands, a lot of, that kind of stuff, it's definitely going to be humid as hell.
Mhm.
I feel like you guys have the same sort of humidity we do.
Yeah.
Like you
In
take a shower,
Sydney,
you
yeah,
walk right out and you need to shower again.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's yeah,
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 it's such a joy.
yeah. It depends where you go in Australia though, because like we're so flipping big. Like the more north you go, the more humid it gets,
Yeah, we're sort of
and
surrounded.
deadly too. I just
Yeah.
I just
Well, is there really a lot of things that can kill you in Australia? Because
Yeah.
that's the rumor I've heard is that everything in Australia is trying to kill you. And I'm like, well, so is everything in
yes,
Florida.
yeah.
So
Um,
what's going on?
I
we
think we
have
have like,
out of the top 12 deadliest snakes, we have nine of
yeah,
them,
yeah.
and the number one is on that list too.
And they're not just found, out in the outback or in all the bushlands.
Hmm.
Where we used to live in there's a place called Quakers Hill, which is right in the heart of the suburbs. And I see on the Facebook page that, there's brown snakes, there's red-bellied black snakes, which are two of the most deadliest snakes
No,
in,
red bellies aren't deadly. I get them all the
are
time.
they?
No,
Okay.
like I mean,
Brown snakes, for sure.
brown snakes will kill you,
Yeah. One
but you've
bite, you've got, I think, like 5 minutes to get to the
no,
hospital.
no. I think it's about half an hour. The taipan is like the taipan is 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Well, you're dead.
Yeah, like you are literally bang dead.
And then we have all those crazy spiders, that redbacks that
Yeah,
live around
redbacks will
our
paralyze you.
area that bite you. And a mate of mine that me and Jamie used to play in two separate bands, and one of my guitarists in my band, his dad got bitten by a whitetail, which is another spider, and he almost lost his leg. Like
God.
he still has massive scarring all along his leg, and it's I think 15 years on now. And yeah, so we have a lot of animals we have a lot of cute animals, but a lot of animals will kill you if you're out here.
Come to
You get all the
Australia.
cute animals because you have all the ones that kill you. That's like compensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no, I'm not coming to Australia. Sorry. No.
Well, it depends where you go. I always say just don't go north.
I already have alligators and retention ponds over here. I don't need any spiders.
We have a beach up very far north, Northern Territory. I think like maybe in Queensland, that kind of area, where it's there's a sign that says "Do not go on the beach at night," because
Mhm.
people keep going on the beach at night and sitting down on a log thinking it's a log, but it's actually a crocodile.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I'm surprised there's not a lot more dangerous animal movies about Australia. There's a few really good ones. I think there's Rogue, obviously Fear
Yeah.
Below. But Rogue was a good one that came out about 10 years ago. But there's not that many movies about all the things out here that can kill you.
What?
Maybe that's part of the tourism thing. We want people to come out here and
Mm.
So
they
you can't
they
tell
find
them.
out. Yeah, exactly. If you
But
find out how many things can actually kill you out here, you probably won't come.
It doesn't make for good. That's like a tourism thing. Come to Australia where you might die and probably
Yeah,
will.
yeah, it's Daredevils, You might die, you might not make it home. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be your last experience.
we have that awesome zombie kangaroo movie coming out, Ryan.
Oh God,
Called Rippy.
I've acquired
It
that.
looks so bad. It looks
It's
so
I want
so
to
bad.
so
see it. Wait,
I don't know if you know
what is this thing
um
called?
Is it called Rippy?
so we used to have this show in Australia which was out a long time ago called Skippy. And
Yeah.
Skippy was a bush kangaroo that helped a family,
Yeah,
save.
Skippy.
It was like a really bad animatronic thing. To help the family save, like Timmy fell down the well, let's Skippy and he'll lead you to the world. So
Yeah.
there's a new horror movie that's come out, which I actually have acquired, called Rippy, and it's about a zombie kangaroo that goes around and yeah, I haven't
That's
watched
it.
it yet, but I have got it. I got it about
It
four
it's
weeks ago.
hilarious because it's like played so serious, so straight.
Yeah,
Like, oh, what is this thing? And it's this bad CGI kangaroo.
Have you guys seen Poultrygeist?
yeah,
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah.
Mm.
My husband likes all those kind of like B horror movies, and I
Yeah.
just sit there and giggle at them because
Yeah.
they're like you said, they're acting all serious. And oh, another good one is Zombievers.
yeah. I've
I've
seen
heard
that.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Oh,
a
that was
good B grade film. Me and my wife love the B grade films, and we downloaded that. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Zombievers was actually really, really good.
But Poltergeist, that was originally the script for E.T.
Really?
Yeah. They wrote the script for E.T. and then they went, this isn't going to work. And then someone else took that and they turned it into Poltergeist. So it was basically going to be E.T. haunting a family. Um,
Wow. I did not know that.
and
But
then,
then
I
you
feel like
see
both
movies
scripts
I
work.
didn't think I would.
yeah, and then, Steven Spielberg obviously goes, family friendly, so, you know.
But yeah, I only like the original Poltergeist. They did a horrible remake, I think, in 2010, which was just
Yeah.
awful. They were trying to relaunch the whole franchise and not well. I still absolutely love the original. The first one, which I think was like the most cursed movie set in the world. So many people from that movie died under mysterious circumstances. But that's another podcast. We're not here to talk about, murder mysteries or anything like that.
Not yet. Um,
No, not yet anyway.
we should probably get started. What do you reckon? For our
Just
guests,
tangenting.
for our guests, first question, who is Charlotte Chaos?
Yes. Well, I'm a mom, as you guys already know. Have a great husband who is running around here somewhere with a kid. By day, I'm actually a nurse, and I work with children, but I've worked in emergency and trauma, ICU as well. I'm shamelessly addicted to caffeine and could probably just drink it all day and still go to sleep, no problem. We have 4 cats. Um, I'm just life is always moving, always chaos, but in a good way. So that's sort of where my pen name came from, is because I feel like not bad chaos, but like I just sort of attract chaos where I am like a giant ball of chaos. And even at work, my coworkers really never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Um, my boss gave me the No Filter Award, and it says what everyone else is thinking. So it's just always sort of a crapshoot. During COVID, um, I was told to keep my mask on because if my mouth didn't say it, my face would. So it's always just, even though we can take it off, Charlotte, you should just keep yours on until you can school your face a little better. Because with COVID, we had that break. So my face just automatically contorted when somebody would say something. And then I had to re-practice having the poker face once we could take our masks off. So that was great.
Oh, it's like me. Chris says it all the time. My best mate says it all the time. He says the Jamie face. It's like if I disagree
Yes.
with something, I have this face.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Well, if
It
you
would-
kind of turn your nose a little bit and have this really uncomfortable look on your mouth, and I mean, I can pick it. I mean, Chris is
Well,
right.
Chris compared it to the you remember the meme that came out with JD Vance? He's like,
Yeah.
like it's a little bit like that.
So now we need to see the Jamie face before this ends. We're gonna have to see the
Uh,
Jamie face at some point in
At some
time.
point, you
Ryan, you're
will.
gonna have
It
to point it
depends.
out.
I will definitely because he can't do it. If you ask him to do it, he can't do it.
No,
No,
it's
you
it's
can't,
it's a it's
automatic.
a reaction.
and you
Like
can't stop it. Like I can feel my
no,
face moving, and I'm like, damn it, don't
yeah.
stop.
I know I'm doing
And
it
it's just
when
like
I'm doing it. You know.
you can't stop it. It just does. Like Caleb will, sorry, my son's name is Caleb, and he'll be like, Mom, why are you making that face at me? Like, you should ask yourself what you did to deserve it. But
Oh no, no.
apparently there's a look that I have when he's being a little turd and he knows it. Does
Is
he
that like
stop?
is that like
No.
resting bitch face? Because my wife has that 24/7.
Oh my God, no. So I don't have RBF, but my husband does. To the point where we've been together since 2012, and we are driving, and I look at him and ask whether there's something wrong with him still to this day since he has such RBF.
Yeah, that's me. I when I first started dating my wife in 2012 as well. Every single day, multiple times, because we started dating, and then within a month, she left her job, and came and worked at where I was working. So we would, date and obviously work together, far away from each other, but still saw each other, and every day, multiple, 10 times a day. What's wrong? Who's pissed you off? Who's annoyed you? What have I done? And she's like, nothing. And I said, but you've got that look on your face like you want to murder me. I don't understand. And then that's when I learned because she educated me on what resting bitch face was, and I'm like, oh, that's what you have. So
You
yeah.
just started saying it's just my face, hon. It's just my face. But like even at work, the new people won't ask him for help because he looks so unapproachable, which
I think
is honestly a gift.
that's probably I think Steph used that to her advantage because she doesn't like
Yeah.
many other people. So she just has
That-
that face that people just don't approach her at work. They always come to me because I'm just happy-go-lucky all the time.
See, that's how Bob is. He works it so that they don't come to him. Um, like
Genius.
you've got it figured out. But I'm like, but then you don't turn it off when you come home, and I think you're mad at me. Like turn the
Um,
resting bitch face off. So I don't have the resting bitch face. I just have like Caleb says my eyes get narrow and my mouth just goes completely straight.
he's kind of doing it. He's kind of doing the Jamie face
No,
because
I'm
he.
not. I'm
No,
listening.
no, I'm telling you, you are because I'm watching you. When you were just sitting there while we were both talking, he does it, and anytime he puts his hand like that,
No, that means
I
I'm
know it's
listening. I'm
coming.
listening. That means I'm listening.
Oh,
We're
okay.
gonna coin this right now, Ryan. It's RJF, resting Jamie face.
Freaking Jamie face. There you
There you
go.
go.
Resting Jamie
I'm gonna
face.
I'm gonna coin that and just use it all the time. But you don't do it all the time. Like it's
No.
not as annoying as like having constant resting bitch face. But
Yeah.
now he's noticing it, eyes wide, everything. So, but yeah, I've just thought I pointed out.
Right. Well, let's get into these icebreakers because I feel like we're going to get a lot of
Distracted.
good answers. Do you want to go first, Ryan? You want me to go first? Or
I
you want to
will.
play it? You want
I
to go first?
definitely will go. And you think I wouldn't have to look at the document to remember what these questions are because we've done it so many times, but I do. So,
Reach
okay.
out.
If you could get rid of one thing in the world, what would it be? And we do encourage selfish answers, like none of this world peace crap. Tell us what you really want to get rid of.
So I thought about that one, and my answer is money.
Okay.
So hear me out. Because money, everyone's greedy, everyone's out for themselves. So if we got rid of money and went back to like a barter system, right? We're still getting what we need. We're getting more active in helping others. And nobody can get pissed off about money, and everyone has to have some sort of trade to help each other out. It's not
Hmm.
world peace, but it's getting rid of like the 9 to 5 grind and the
Yeah.
bullshit and the $6 dozen eggs,
Mm.
you know, all of that. But I would definitely get rid of that and have things be more merit based on the person and their skills involved. So, you know, so many people are stuck on money. We need money to live and money to do this. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, what about what we can trade to help each other? And you view people as to how much you can get from them financially. Why not view them as how much you can get from them in a different way? I mean, it's still kind of selfish, but it would reduce some of that, especially the $6 eggs. I'm still stuck on that from earlier. Like that's not going
Uh,
anywhere, guys.
I'm lucky enough to know people that live 10 minutes from my house that have like 20, 30 chickens. You know, so
I'm jealous. We looked at chickens. I was like, no, I can't. I have a thing with birds and goats, which is a whole different story. Um, but I have been pooped on too many times, and I've actually been roundhouse kicked in the crotch by a goat. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. So, and one tried to eat my hair. So we can't have a barnyard anything here.
no.
It's gonna be a
Goats
problem.
goats are a pain in the butt. Um, it's like
Yeah.
they're the farmyard, they're the, what do you call it? The farmyard panda. I don't know how they're alive.
Oh yeah, tell me about it, man. Pandas, dude. Like I've seen so many videos. I absolutely love pandas. Me and my wife absolutely. We will watch hours and hours of YouTube videos on pandas, and you are 100% right. The amount of times that those little things fall out of a tree from like 100 feet up and just sort of, okay, let's just roll, and then just go back to their daily lives.
Yeah.
I swear they've got some sort of military grade tech underneath their fur
Yeah.
that keeps them from having any issues when they
Yeah.
fall. But yeah, I 100% agree.
Do you know what I found out the other day? Do you know what a group of pandas are called?
Oh, I do. Oh crap, no, it's on the tip of my tongue, man.
An embarrassment.
An embarrassment, yeah. There you
That's
go.
that's the term. Yeah.
Insult. Like you can just tell someone, I feel like you're a group of pandas, and then just
Yeah.
walk off and leave them
Yeah.
wondering. They Google it.
Great. We're coining that right now. All right. What's something on your bucket list?
I mean, obviously to travel, right? Like that's everybody's dream. I actually spent a semester in college in Turkey and Greece. I was lucky enough to do a study abroad. And I would just love to go back. Obviously, you can tell from my pastiness, I've got some Irish going on. But I would like to go to Ireland, Scotland. My husband is German and Slovenian. So I'd like to kind of see those places and just I think traveling gives you so much more of an open mind
Mhm.
to culture and different things, and that's something we don't do properly.
Yep.
We should travel more when we're young and when we haven't had a family, haven't had kids to raise, and can change our mindset and worldview versus now. Like my parents are in their 70s and they're traveling, and I'm like, yeah, but you've already lived your life and you've raised your
Yeah.
kids, so anything you learn now isn't going to be, you know, passed down. Like you're not going to be
Yeah.
you're not open-minded as you would be. So I think we should travel young. But that would be definitely on my bucket list. I'd like to go overseas, stay for a while, learn what I can, soak it up, and get away from the alligators.
Oh, come to Australia, play with
Like,
crocodiles.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Like, would you just
listen, I would know to poke the log on the beach with a stick first, okay?
Yeah.
I would not sit on it.
Yeah. Um,
Common sense.
I think crocodiles are just like they're so. I've seen so many videos of people going up to we've got a place called Northern Territory up to Darwin and places up there where you can actually pay someone to put you in a cage and go down and swim with the crocodiles.
Oh,
I cannot like I'm not afraid of anything except for spiders, but I'm not afraid of anything else in this world. Like you, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid. I have no fear. I'm in a wheelchair and I literally got yelled at by my wife the other day when we were at the movies because I I literally go on the ramp down and I just put my arms out and I just sort of worries that I'm going to crash and fall out all the time. But I,
I feel like that's par for the course for you right there. I can see you
I
absolutely
definitely
doing it.
100%. And but I could not see myself getting in a cage and having that many
no.
crocodiles swim around because those guys they're prehistoric, right? They're prehistoric. They've been around for a very long time. There's a reason for that. And I think that they're smart enough to one day just break through that cage and just, take off another limb of my precious body. And I just could not do it. But then people will just do it multiple times in their life. I just can't believe
Yeah.
it.
Well, alligators too. So we eat alligators. So why is nobody eating the crocodiles?
No, I think you can get crocodile
Yeah.
meat.
Can you get
Yeah.
crocodile?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Croc-
to Outback Steakhouse. No, there's a restaurant called Lone Star. It's kind of like your Outback Steakhouse over there. They had a tasting platter of kangaroo and crocodile, and I have had it long, long time ago, but I did have it. It was actually quite nice.
You can eat
yeah.
them.
I think Australia is the only country in the world that eats the animals that are on its coat of arms.
Mm.
It's like we've got
Yeah.
kangaroo and an emu are on our coat of arms kind of thing. They're the symbols
What did that
because
say about you guys?
and we eat them. Well, there's a lot of kangaroos. They're actually a pest. That's one thing.
They're moving
Then
into
They're
like
they're
all of
they're
our
they're bouncing rats.
main areas. Yeah. I'm
we call
surprised they
squirrel
haven't,
tree rats. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, there are a lot. I'm surprised they haven't, started their own gangs and stuff. There's so many of them, or especially even in, the suburbs and the city and everything. They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
How do you know they haven't started their own gangs? Because they probably are having turf wars right now. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
legitimately, that's probably happening.
I mean, they're being held in place by the emus because the emus did beat us in war. Remember that, right? Shameless plug for my book there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Guess that's
Yeah,
related to your book, the
Yes,
emus.
and
true
now I
story.
have to freaking buy another copy because you keep changing the cover. I have every single
No,
copy.
it's the same. It's the same on the inside. You don't need to. This is just when.
You know me, I'm a completionist. I have to have
Then
Patience.
everything. I
I
have the first edition with the tiny writing and all that. Then I have the digital edition. I have the second edition that you brought out with the same cover, but the writing was a bit bigger and stuff like that. And then I have the new cover book. So that's five. And
yeah,
now I saw on Instagram yesterday that you've just given it another cover, which means I have to buy
yeah.
that.
But that's the only reason I did that is because my publisher went under, so there'll be no more
Yeah.
copies of that. So I need a new one for people to,
But I swear you just do it because you know that I'll buy another copy.
yes.
And I just
Well,
have it all on my bookshelf.
I'm moving on from that book soon. Don't worry. Anyway, Chris, your favorite
Next
question?
question is my favorite question of all time. You will be judged harshly, and if you do not answer in a correct manner, the interview will be terminated.
No more podcasts for
So
you.
I'd like to answer this.
So basically, the question is, what is the greatest sitcom of all time? Two answers are welcome. If the one that you think is the greatest of all time is not your favorite, please also tell us your favorite.
No, I don't really do a lot of sitcoms. One of my favorite shows ever has been Orphan Black, which
Yeah,
isn't a sitcom, but it's more of a drama, which I really like. Obviously, the science nerd in me had a field day with that. But I love the whole premise. Her acting was amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
yeah.
Right, like
Jack told me about that show. Since I've been in hospital for almost the last year because I had my leg amputated and all that kind of stuff. So I've been watching a hell of a lot of TV, and Jamie recommended that because I watched that horrible She-Hulk show. And Jamie's like, no, watch Orphan Black.
Yeah.
He's
You're gonna
absolutely
get sucked in.
uh,
You will
and
get sucked in. It
he
is
is so good.
so good. It is, and I don't know if you saw that they're doing like a redo or another one of it or like a second. I'm like, I can't. That's gonna be trash.
No.
Compare it. Like you cannot, like the first
Yeah.
one, you're not gonna top it. You're not gonna top her. And it is so well done and it's so intricate. It is really a brain scratcher, but it's also just wonderful. So that has been one of my favorite shows. Because when I think about sitcoms, it's supposed to be like a funny show, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, eh. Like, my whole life is a comedy. I don't really want to watch it on TV,
That's all right. That's all right.
So, Orphan Black, and then right now we are watching Squid Games 2. We started the second season of Squid Games, Lucifer, and then my husband and I started The Boys, and
Oh yes, yes,
I
yes.
really don't like Huey. He pisses me off.
Who's? Oh,
Really?
yeah. See,
No, I can't with him. The little French guy is probably the best one there,
Yeah.
and they're ruining it because they're like sort of hinting at this romance with him and the girl, and I'm just like, "Ugh, that's gonna ruin it. Like, just let them be like friends or whatever." But Huey pisses me off, and I'm just like, no.
Well,
So
basically,
we haven't
the,
got back to it.
the writers of because it's based off a comic series that came out probably about 10 years ago. The writer actually wrote Huey, the role of Huey, for Simon Pegg, who plays Huey's dad in the boys, but obviously he's too old to play a young guy. But yeah, I really get what you're saying there because everything else is pretty much accurate to the comics, bar what Huey actually looks like. Because in the comics, he actually looks like Simon Pegg because the writer Garth is actually based it on Simon Pegg, hoping that if they ever did an adaptation, he would be able to play the role. But
Yeah.
that show, like this, it came out at the time when Marvel's TV shows were absolutely rubbish. And me and Jamie were both big comic book nerds, so um, it came out when Marvel was really dropping the ball with all their TV shows. The whole Arrowverse, which was amazing, had finished. And I've read the boys' comics probably about 100 times since they came out, so I knew it back to front. And that show saved me from, it brought, and as violent and as disgusting as it is true to the comics. And that show just completely brought my faith back in superhero shows again. Yeah, I think I agree with you about Frenchie and the girl, Kamiko. In the comics, nothing really happens between them, but I don't know where they're going with that. But 100%, the casting is pretty much spot on, except for Huey. So I'm with
Yeah.
you there.
He bothers me, like just something about him in general. And I don't know if it's the actor or if it's his portrayal of him or if it's actually Huey as would be in the comics, but he bothers me and I just don't like him
Yeah,
like at all.
he's got a very unlikable face, which is weird because he's
Yes, he does. Oh my God. He doesn't have resting bitch face. It's not resting bitch face. It's something else. It's more like
want
he
to
looks
punch.
like he looks like he already got punched in the face. And but I
It's
think
weird because his parents are Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, and they're both
what
decently
happened.
decently attractive people. And
Well,
yeah,
I think his character bothered me. Like he's very, I don't know, just he's a whiny little bitch.
yeah.
But
I
is he
don't like
supposed to
that.
be? Is he supposed to be? That's the
I know,
question.
but I
He's
really
supposed
just
to be,
wish he
but
would
not
find
as
his
bad as
balls.
this. So.
Like just find the balls. Like stop. I'm so tired of the I don't I'm just mm-mm. He just annoys me. Like I'm like you're annoying me because I would have this on lock and what are you doing with yourself right now? You know?
Yeah.
I think that's more like I think his character and maybe he's made to be annoying, but I'm
He's
like people
kind of
annoy me enough on a daily basis. I don't need to watch a TV show and be annoyed.
he's kind of he is in the comics he is whiny, but it's also more fear because obviously the rest of the boys have been doing this for a while, and
Right.
he kind of just coming into it. But in the comics, it's more
He's
fear based
afraid.
than whining. Yeah, but on
It's
the TV show,
it's
it's
not
just
translating.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's
you definitely have,
whiny.
yeah, 100%. Have you finished? Are you up to date with it?
No, because I'm just like, ugh. I'm
Uh,
like, I have other stuff that are, and then of course Squid Games came out, the second one, and I'm like, okay, because the first one was really good. And so now we're into that, and we're alternating between that and Lucifer. So
this was good.
He's a great actor.
oh,
Yeah,
he's
100%.
fantastic.
Just
Yeah.
that opening scene of the first episode where he just pulls up in that car and it just yeah 100%. I came into the game late with Lucifer, so I started watching it after it had finished, and yeah, I think I'm up to halfway through season 3 at the moment, so I'm definitely enjoying that. But Squid Games I never got into. Am I missing out? Is it good?
I think you're missing out a little. I mean, it's It's very suspenseful. It's the whole way it's done is interesting. And then how the characters sort of intertwine is interesting. Like this person that you don't think is X, Y, and Z is. And now we're seeing the people coming together and they're trying to get back in the game to stop it in season 2. Right. But there's a lot of, and I can't tell you because they'll spoil it, but there's a lot of like twists and turns in there. Jamie, have you seen it?
No. But we have a friend called Chris who doesn't believe in spoilers at all. Like, so he just goes blah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
I know all about it. Yeah.
it's well done, and I think the premise is interesting. It's also very much like I could see this actually happening in the real world to a degree.
Yeah.
Like I could see somebody deciding to randomly have a game of red light, green light, and murder everybody.
Yeah.
That's I could see it. Maybe with alligators and crocodiles. You never know. So, but some of the things that they come up with are wild, and the way that some of the characters react to the situations are wild. So I think it's definitely worth a watch. For
Yeah.
sure.
I'll definitely give it a go. As I said, I've got a lot of time on my hands at the moment, so 100%.
Mhm.
I'm just rewatching old stuff, like I'm rewatching Supernatural for the 100th time and all these kind of stuff. So
Are you stopping at the correct season?
No, I'm going through. I'm going to make it to the end. I haven't made it to the end yet because it's so many seasons. But at the
Orphan
moment,
Black. You have to get on Orphan Black.
definitely, yeah. I think I'm.
You cannot sleep on
almost
that.
finished season 1, so 100% I'm watching.
Yeah.
Because I have the thing where I'll watch one episode. I'll have like 6 shows I'm watching, and I'll just watch one episode of one, then the next, and just keep going like that. So
He's got his own TV channel.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But
He
I'll
needs
have
to
check
put
out-
that in the rotation.
Yeah.
I think the first episode, it may not grab you quite as much as it should just because it's sort of laying the groundwork. But once
Yeah.
you start getting going, you're gonna see.
No.
Because it slowly unfolds and you're like, holy crap, like what is going on? Like I didn't think anything could get weirder. And now I've got this going on. And
Yeah.
where the hell did she come from? And
Yeah.
so it's kind of one of those.
No, me and Ryan have the 3-episode rule. We give, no matter how bad or good something is, we give it 3 episodes. And if it doesn't hook you, then you've had your chance.
Well, you already watched it, so you already know it's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I think I stopped, season 2 or 3, just because it was like, I need to slow, because I binged it, and I was like, I need to slow down.
Oh,
a
you
little
gotta
bit.
finish it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my God, Jamie, the ending. Oh my God.
Mm.
I think it's on
I
Netflix.
was like-
so
I was like, I didn't see that coming. Oof.
I believe it's on Netflix out here, so I'll definitely keep up with it. But so I mean, it's kind of, it makes me feel really bad with what they did with her with She-Hulk because she's actually a really good actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's amazing.
So but yeah, look, I'm happy to accept that answer because they're shows that I enjoy, and as we know, that's not necessarily fair. It's just what I believe. So.
Yeah.
We will continue on with
Yeah.
this interview and
You,
done on passing the test.
the fact that he spoke about the boys, got to talk about the boys for like 5 to 10
100%.
mintes, you just,
As soon as you said, and now other people are going to know that they're going to know just talk about the boys, and then I'll be happy. No, it's look.
His heart is talking
100%.
about the boys.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I approve of all those shows and answers, and I definitely will check out Squid Game. So
No.
I will maybe give a review on a future podcast episode.
Well, that being said, what's your zombie apocalypse plan?
I mean, honestly, kill it with fire. Cut its head
with
off,
fire.
kill it with fire, wing it, maybe stab him in the eye. Whatever you got. Like you got a fork handy, cool, poke him in the face. Blowtorch, which we happen to have one. Kill him with fire. Whatever you have.
Unleash the alligators.
Absolutely. Like I would just ride in on a herd of alligators, just whipping them like a chariot, you know?
I was going to
It's like a
say
javelin throw.
that would be like old school Ben-Hur, but with alligators. That'd be
Absolutely.
amazing. That would
Absolutely. And then I could have their skin as armor
Oh, okay. Well, they already make shoes out of crocodiles and alligators, I think. So
and belts and purses. So, you know.
Yeah.
why not have, full suit of armor? Make sure you get the old alligators, the ones that have been around for a while, that have been battle
yeah.
tested.
Yeah.
So you can, they're good, so you can wear their armor with
You're gonna have
pride.
the alligator cowl, where it comes
Oh, yeah.
comes over the head.
The helmet would have like their teeth sticking out the
Yes.
top like a mohawk.
Yeah.
I like, and you
I
know
would
what?
one more.
I love that answer because I don't think we've had anyone on this podcast answer that question saying, I'm just going to go balls to the wall. I'm just going to, kill and kill and kill. Everyone's always talking about their plans, where they're going to hide, where they're going to outlast.
Mm.
But
I'm letting my rage out.
Ooh.
This is not a hiding. This is it, what was it? The movie, and you're gonna remember the name, where like you could kill the purge. This would be like a legal
Oh, yeah.
purge. Like I am killing things that are trying to kill me. So and the whole human society. So I can just let out all of my little ragey self and desires and murder indiscriminately.
Even if there's that one person from the office that you've just hated and you see them as a zombie, you get to take out your
Oh,
rage on that one person.
that person, I would. Mm-hmm.
I can tell you
My
already
husband
know
knows.
who that is.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah.
It would be very painful for them. I have so many ideas. One of the things that I have excelled at in my writing is torture. So I was actually a history major too before I was a nurse, and I took a course called The West at War in college, where we did learn about war and also torture techniques. So and I do my research, so my browser history is interesting. But I've incorporated some of these delightful torture techniques into my stories.
And now
And
you
there
have
was
the
a whole
FBI
chapter
rocking
long
on your
of
door.
torture in one of them. So I could torture this person for a while and be completely happy about it.
So have you got like an agreement with your husband that if anything were to happen to you, if you were kidnapped or something were to happen to you, to delete the browser history immediately, before the cops come?
There's a group of us in an author chat, and we always joke about how like the FBI is probably watching us, and somebody needs to write a story about the FBI like stumbling across our browser history and ending up like being stalked by a bunch of authors. I think we always joke about how we should write a book about that.
Well, that's a good idea because authors have the most interesting Google search history. Like it's just like I almost feel like whenever I research something, I I am an author. Tell me about like it's just like
Right, don't flag me, please.
yeah.
And like I'll post in my Facebook group sometimes, like, guess what I'm writing about? I searched up Siberian bear armor, how many penises an echidna had, and what did the bird jellyfish sting? What is Charlotte writing? Story.
Without being like an author, you have free reign to you can just say it was for research purposes. It's like when
Oh
you're
yeah.
talking about crime and stuff like that you commit. Like I'm allegedly a pirate, and you know what I mean. Like you just put the word allegedly in front of it or after it, and it's all good. But you guys get that freedom to say it was for research purposes. I was looking up how to build a bomb and how many what the blast radius was for research.
May or may not have actually looked that up. So yeah.
I kind of got that impression, to be honest with you.
Look for a lot of fun things.
I tell you what, I wish the nurses here were half as interesting as what you are. I tell you that. I would have some good conversations. I'll tell you that. But at the moment,
Things trying to kill you, and I'll take care of you.
Ryan, unique because when you missed that interview, we had an interview with a paramedic who's friends with Jack Roney, and he was like saying how warped the sense of humor of a paramedic is.
Yeah.
Like, they need it as a coping mechanism, but sometimes they forget that they're near people that.
Oh yeah, man. I've got a friend who's a paramedic out here. He is the dirtiest, filthiest, effed up guy in the world. Lovely guy, he's married with kids, but I grew up with him. So we grew up from when we were 12 going up. So I know exactly how effed up his mind is, and it's only gotten worse as a paramedic. So, yeah, I can 100% agree with that.
That's one thing that my dad even has said is like nurses have some of the darkest sense of humor, but it has to be a certain specialty, right? So like even before I was out of nursing school, I started working in the ER as a nurse tech. So I could do like all the blood draws and throw all the tubes in people. And then I stayed in the ER and then went to the ICU. And so you're going to find your more critical care nurses are kind of like me. Like, we're a little rough around the edges and we're just going to be bleh, like the paramedics, because we have to cope. Like we've seen some bad shit. And we just sort of are like, well, okay, I just saw this, so I really don't care what comes out of my mouth because I just dealt with somebody's insides being put back in them, like
Yeah.
we're just sort of more of a devil may care kind of attitude because of what we have seen.
Yeah.
And I figure
But
that's probably
it's
a
usually
good
your
way.
emergency services.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, yeah, and that's exactly right. I guess with all the stuff that you've probably seen over your years of being a nurse and obviously paramedics and everything like that, you kind of have to, if you're going to last in that industry, you got to have that ability to sort of have that humor and you know what, you might have just seen, as you say, seen this, put this insides back inside of a person or whatever that may be. But you have to be able to laugh about it if you're going to last in that industry because especially during COVID time, I could not think, I mean, that to me, COVID, especially over in the States, it was like a zombie movie. Not that they were coming back to life, but the amount of people that died and the amount of people that were hospitalized and everything. Like we had it not as bad over here, but you guys copped it. And, for you guys to have to go through that as well as the normal day-to-day stuff, hats off to you because you have to have that sense of humor if you're going to last in that industry for sure.
Yeah, you absolutely do. So this goes back to the turf wars, and this does relate, I promise. One of the things during COVID, I actually was one of the nurses that went to New York. So I worked ground
Wow.
zero.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually in a documentary where I was because how it was portrayed to the world versus what happened were two very different things. They were both very bad. But it was Times Square completely empty, nobody there. We'd be walking through, and I remember we were walking through one night. It was myself and two other nurses, and we were getting our food. We saw a rat the size of a house cat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's chilling like outside of by the trash, outside of like a business, and there was hardly anything open. But the rats were having turf wars. There were rat gangs having turf wars in New York because there was nobody on the streets. They were everywhere, and they were like this,
Where were the
like a
Ninja
roast
Turtles?
chicken. No, but like a roast chicken size. I'm like, I could rotisserie this thing if I was scared about the plague. Um, so the COVID was very weird and very wild for us over here. I did see a lot of bad stuff, and how the hospitals in New York handled it was also not good versus what I've seen in Florida. Like, we have more privatized healthcare. This was a lot of the public hospitals that you heard about in New York were the ones that were suffering because the nursing care was subpar.
Yeah.
Um, like very subpar. And I'm sure you guys have seen like a lot of articles that came out around that time that were specifically citing traveling nurses had seen these things and have reported it.
Yeah.
So we all saw it. So it wasn't just unique, like, oh, hey, I saw it. Like it was everybody saw it. It was a combo of that, of no infection control. They really were putting positive patients in with negative. I saw it with my own patient.
Yeah.
They were not sanitizing the equipment between patient rooms. So they're taking the blood pressure cuff and going from room to room with positive and negative. I got in trouble for bleaching it in between. I'm
Wow.
like, we didn't have gowns, didn't have masks, COVID was a wild time over here, but it was really, really wild up there too. It was scary. And the nurses are unionized up there. We don't have that down here. So we had this hour-long lunch break and I had no clue what to do with myself. Like we only get 30 minutes here. And that's like to clock out, go get your food and eat and come back. So yeah, COVID was wild. And it was, thank God that people did not rise because that would have really sent me through the roof. But
Yeah.
the rat gangs, the everything, like the fridge trucks, all of it. It was all very, very real and very, very in our faces. Absolutely. And a lot could have been done differently on all fronts that would have prevented such a loss. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to my dad about it when COVID first hit because he's now 70. So at the time he was just close to 70. So and he lives a couple of hours away. So I couldn't see my dad for almost a year, which is okay because a lot of other people had it worse. But we were talking on the phone one day, and he's like, it seems to be every 100 years or something big like this happens, like some epidemic, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. If you go back like all the way to the Black Plague and everything like that, every 100 or so years, there's been something bad that has taken a lot of people from this world. And I just think that this COVID was ours, was the 100, we were living in that 100-year period where unfortunately a lot of people lost their lives for COVID. And I was lucky. I think I've had COVID 4 times now. And
God.
the second time I actually got COVID in hospital just before I moved over to this new place. I got COVID in hospital, and I was pretty much just going to physiotherapy every day and staying in my room, and I still managed to get COVID while I was in hospital. But look, honestly, the worst I had was some fevers and a bit of aching muscles. Like that's nothing compared to what people have been through. Obviously losing their loved ones and people getting. I've a podcast I listened to, a guy who had long COVID. He's had it for almost a year. It's just, and you guys, I have utmost respect for. I joke about saying, the nurses here don't have personality and stuff. They're the most amazing people in the world. And as I said, I've been in hospital since late May of last year. So I've dealt with a lot of different nurses, and I tell you what, the doctors are all about the beds and the nurses are all about the people. And that's why I absolutely have not got a bad word to say about any nurse that I've ever dealt with in the last, 8 months. So just a little hats off to you for being one of those hardworking people. And yeah, just being in the system for so long, I have tremendous respect for all you guys.
A lot of nurses are very patient driven and we want to help people. And sometimes that looks differently for each nurse. Sometimes I have to stick my foot in someone's butt to get them help and move them. Like, you got a double knee replacement, fine, get your ass out of bed, let's go. My love is tough. And everybody's different and each nurse is different. And you know that with all the nurses working with you. But I think one thing a lot of us agreed on, especially during that time in COVID, was it's about the people. It's not about the doctors. I don't give a crap if this is dangerous. This is our job.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the end of it for us. And we went.
And 100% anyone who has not only worked through COVID, but worked in that industry deserves way more money than what you guys are getting. You know what I mean? Like there's big wigs that are sitting at the top of, skyscrapers who barely do anything, who, are out there who's got 20 different girlfriends and just spend way too much money. And then there's hardworking people like yourself who deserve more money. And then in Australia we have a nurse shortage. I'm sure you do over there, and the people wonder why, because you guys don't get paid nearly enough to deal with what you guys got to deal with. So.
Interestingly enough, there was a new law passed here in Florida, and I saw it the other day, and I don't know if it's completely real or not, but it came up on my feed that it is actually considered, I think, some form of harassment or something to threaten a healthcare provider now. And it's considered assault or an issue to lay hands on a healthcare provider. And I'm like, wow, where was this 10 years ago when I got punched? Where was this 5 years ago when I got threatened? So I think that we're seeing things change a little bit in the hindsight of COVID for the healthcare providers. Not necessarily our pay, because listen, but at least maybe the way we're treated, I think. Even in New York, we were not allowed to go out by ourselves. We had to have a buddy system because people were not always nice.
No,
So
definitely. I see it here. I see it because where I am at the moment is kind of like it's the stepping stone for me going home. I'm in a place where I'm pretty independent. The nurses are just here for medication and to help out if we're needed. It's not an acute ward or anything. It's a house. I have a roommate and everything like that. But it is part of a mental health unit. So I've been here 3 months now, and I have seen some people who just absolutely go crazy at the nurses, and then I just see the nurses and they're just stoic. They're just, okay,
Yep.
I understand, but we need to calm you down. You need to do this, this, and this. And I'm just like, how the hell do you do it? Because I would be screaming right back at that person, just going, I'm here to help you. What are you doing? But yeah, you have to have one kind of personality to do what you do.
Yep, we are trained to physically restrain people as well. It's one of our ER trainings, so I can actually physically take somebody down if I have to.
Awesome.
You're
That will
monkey.
happen
It's
well in
fun.
the zombie apocalypse as well. You know, you can take them down and
Correct.
What's that Israeli fighting style? The what's it called,
Oh,
right? Oh, the
oh man.
Kamagra or something, or
Oh, Krav Maga or
Krav
something.
Maga.
Kramagra. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
gonna go Krav Maga some zombies.
Yes.
That's what's gonna
That'd be
happen.
handy.
There's your next book, Jamie.
Oh, don't
A
know.
guide to Krav Maga for zombies.
Don't tempt me. I've done my zombie book. I'm onto a sci-fi now. So,
Fine, but just remember that alligator armor. Like, don't
yes,
forget that.
I won't. Well, it's here. It's recorded, so it'll live on forever. Last one, Ryan. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, no, this is like the longest one since Kernsey, I think. So yeah, we'll
Sorry.
give him a run for his money. Last one is Elon Musk calls you up and offers you a test drive in his new electric time machine. What do you do and where do you go? So in terms of where you come back, he gives you a little watch thing that you can push the button, and when you're ready, it will bring you back to the exact spot where you left. So yeah, just to give you a bit of background.
So I'm gonna go to the future. I'm gonna see my kid grown up and see his family and see my descendants, right? But I'm gonna steal all their inventions, bring them back, make them my own, and win the lottery and buy that private island with no alligators.
Excellent. I really like it when it's when the answers are self-involved. So, you know, like doing something that a lot of people go, oh, I'll go back to the medieval times to see how that worked out, or I'll go back to ancient Rome, see how that worked out. No, you wouldn't.
You know how
I
that worked out. That was bad.
I would go to the
Um,
future and steal ideas and make a lot of money so that my family can live comfortably.
correct. And let me also state that I'm a woman and none of those times were fun for women.
Oh yeah, yeah, true, very true, very true.
I'm not going back to medieval times. First of all, they didn't bathe. Let's talk about deodorant. What the hell was that? Like, no, thank you. I don't want to be a grease ball that stinks like dirty feet. So we're not going to go there in a corset. Are you kidding me? No, no broken ribs here. If I go back to medieval times, I need to go back as a man and I'm going to joust and I'm going to stab a mother.
And plus, if
Let's just be real.
you appeared in the middle of in the middle of medieval times, you'd probably get burned at the stake for being a witch.
God, if I breathe, I get burned at the stake.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
I'm smelling a story here, like those movies. They always do she's a man or whatever, or she's the
Oh,
man. You can do one called She's the
Yeah, like
Night. Go back in
like
time.
we transmigrate and we end up in a knight's body.
Yes, she's the
But
night.
like
Well,
anything like that, like it was just not a great time for women. So
yeah.
I would want to go forward to see him, maybe see if things changed for women or men or whatever, and then
Mm,
take all the damn inventions and they're all mine. And
mm.
now I'm set for life, and so is my family.
There you go.
I like that. That's 100% exactly what I would do because family, and you know, not only you setting yourself up and your kids, but their kids and their kids and their kids. You know, you don't have to worry
Correct.
about anything like that. That's
Yeah.
100% what I would do.
Boom.
Those $6 eggs.
Yes.
Check that off the list.
Correct. You can go back in time, find a robotic chicken that lays eggs, unlimited supply, and
You
then
know what?
you
Yes.
one, you wouldn't have to buy the $6 eggs, but two, you could actually undercut everyone and go back to charging $3 for the egg because it's not costing you anything.
This is an idea right here. We need to get on inventing this because yes. Like
There
just
you go.
yes.
All right.
Ryan,
Patented.
you have all that spare time. This is what you need to do with it.
Yep. Yep. No, I played way too many video games and watched way too many shows because I worked my ass off from when I was 15 to last year. But I will definitely I a robotic chicken that can lay. But that's how I'm gonna have to work it out how I can get organic matter like the eggs from a robotic chicken. I'm gonna have to watch some Rick and Morty to work this shit out. So I
You're
will
gonna have
do
to
it. I'll
clone the
come back to
organic
you.
matter.
I'll come back to you in
Okay.
5 years. I haven't invented a new leg.
Oh, he's
Listen,
frozen.
if you oh, he is frozen.
Frozen.
We lost Ryan.
They'll be back in a second.
Well, if he invents a robotic chicken, like, listen, I'm gonna buy one. Just
Yeah.
end of story. That's mine.
Yeah.
I'll even name it Ryan.
Anyway, we're talking about robot chickens.
Yeah.
Yes. And Ryan's gonna give me the robot chicken, and I'm gonna name it Ryan. And it's gonna have a place of honor in the house.
I appreciate that. You know, I've petitioned Jamie multiple times to put more of me in his book, and
Hey.
I don't feel like I'm getting the appreciation I deserve out of our
Now,
friendship.
we've talked about, would you rather have, what would be better, having just full spreads of Ryan and he's on every page and everything happening, or is it better to have like to be maybe in it for like half a page, but you are pinnacle to the all the events?
I feel like you're playing to my ego just a little bit because I was going to go to the first one because I am very narcissistic in ways because I want everything to be all about me. However, if I am pinnacle to that story, especially in book 3, I have yet to read book 3. I will read that, and if I'm not satisfied, your next book better literally be called Ryan, because I'm getting a robot chicken in Charlotte's house.
Ryan, I have an idea though.
Okay.
Jamie's probably not gonna like it, but whatever. Whatever,
We'll get
Jamie.
the face.
Jamie,
We'll get
get
the
my
face.
face ready. Get my face ready.
Fix your face, Jamie. So we've got Ryan in the story, and he's pinnacle to the event, whatever. But then you're setting him up for his own book, right? So now you've introduced him in the universe, but then he gets his own story where he's on every page in addition.
The origin story.
Correct. But if he's such an important character and he's such a pinnacle in this story, then why doesn't he have his origin story? What's wrong with you, Jamie?
Well, it could be, it could be the fact that I'd written everything, planned everything out before
Ryan wasn't in it?
and Ryan wasn't in it because it was
Yeah, but
written like
that's just a little
Yeah.
problem. You know, you redid all this. You could have just written like a whole extra couple of chapters just about.
right. But
Listen, you've got to make him into his own story because there's robot chicken, there's alligators, there's
Yeah.
gladiators. Like you
mean-
could totally go with this.
it would have to be a spin-off. It would have to be well, it can't be really a prequel. It'd have to be because the whole series is tied up with a bow. Like you can't, So I might have to do
A little like a novella.
Yeah,
like
I'd have
just
to do a novella set between novellas because
Okay.
it's 3 novellas.
Look, get to work on that. You get to work on that, and we'll review this in 6 months.
And look, in the 3rd novella that I did, you asked for certain things, and I provided certain things, and I wrote things in a certain way to your specifications. He wanted to be a guy that got his leg ripped off by a zombie.
Yeah.
Zombie alligator. Amp it up here, Ryan.
And then I did that right. I had that happen, and then the main characters talked about you and how you wanted to get back out there in a wheelchair with a joust kind of thing,
Nice.
So it
Because
was,
I am that kind of guy that when little
Yeah.
kids ask me what happened to my leg, I tell them that a shark bit it off. Not really. Like I do lie to children all the time, and
I mean, that's
Yeah.
parenting.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
No, you could do a whole spinoff with Ryan, and after the incident, how he recovers, and then how he becomes like the jousting champion.
Yeah, I could do that. There's a very small window for that though, because of series of events. But look,
All I'm hearing is
Believe in you.
excuses.
no, well,
I'm just hearing excuse after excuse
I'm not,
after excuse.
I'm actively trying to figure out how it would work.
I see him thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
I'm happy you didn't have that face during that conversation, so I appreciate that.
I trained myself. This is actually a different video. I'm playing back, and that's fine. Let's finally, after how long it's been, get into everything about Charlotte Chaos. This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between 2 ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown.
So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today.
Poor
How'd you-
Jamie in his editing.
Yeah, I'm used to it, trust me. So how'd you get started? How'd you get into writing?
Well, it was a while ago, and I actually started writing on Archive of Our Own, fan fiction for some manga. But recently, like a couple months ago, I was in my parents' house in my old bedroom and digging around looking for stuff. And I actually discovered a notebook where I'd started to write a story. And I was probably maybe like 10, 11. I even drew a picture. It was a terrible picture. And to nobody's surprise, the story included blood. So, I'm not sure what that says about me, but it was about like a girl who saw a kid begging, and I didn't read too much of it because it was a piece of trash, but 10-year-old wrote it. So, but they talked about blood, like someone got cut or something. Oh, they tried to rob somebody. Anyway, so I guess I've always had it in me. And after Archive of Our Own, like I took a break for a while, and then I got started on this app online, and just sort of went from there and just sort of grew into something. So I have 4 complete stories, 3 of which are available digitally on my Inkit now, and then 1 which is actually published on Kindle and Amazon. So, and 1 work in progress because there's a sequel, of course. So I guess I've always sort of had it. I always sort of daydreamed and made up my own stories, and I just thought everybody kind of did that.
I definitely
Guess
do.
not. Yeah, see, like it goes on, it happens in your head. You're thinking,
Yeah.
I'll be in a boring ass meeting, and I'm like having this whole dialogue in my head with
Yeah.
my characters.
I
No one knows.
Yeah. Even like randomly thinking like my dad talked because he doesn't write stories or anything like that, but he was in a meeting at work one day that was so boring that he literally there was a pad of paper there and he just started writing a story while this
Yeah.
presentation was going on, and he'd write a page and pass it on to everyone's just reading this story and he doesn't know where it's going and it's going round the table.
And everyone's invested.
Yeah. So I'm very like I can barely read a book. Like I have to read bits by bit because my brain just goes whoosh, it's off, going,
Yeah.
what's this story? What can I do with that? That's just how my brain works.
I can get totally immersed. So like bonus points if it has to do with like angels or demons, like that's my jam. I love dystopian.
Cool.
But like the angel and demon lore just like sucks me in. So if you can get me hooked, I'm there.
It is so fascinating. Like, and I think it's because it's so old. There's so much literature from like mankind has always talked about this sort of stuff from like thousands of years. That
You
it's
still have
just
the room with it because it's fiction to do
yeah,
with what you want in your book.
yeah,
Like you can take the bits and pieces that
yeah,
you need and sort of make this patchwork lore that's all your own.
yeah,
So I like it, and I like
yeah,
focusing on them.
yeah. Cool, definitely no. I know Ryan likes a lot of that stuff too.
Mhm.
Obviously watching Supernatural again when they brought demons into that or angels into that, sorry, that was just mind
Yeah,
It's
blowing.
Ryan's jam.
Yeah, because
100%. I grew up on horror and fantasy, and it kind of mixes the two together. And I guess Supernatural was kind of my first glimpse into that actual war between angels and demons with
yeah,
Lucifer and all that kind of thing. And that was done amazingly well because that's still in the good few seasons before they changed writing teams and everything. But yeah, 100%. Anything like that, there's so many video games out there that I've played based on that premise. And I just, yeah, I'm the same. I'll eat it up. If you've got a book,
Yeah.
a story, a video game, a show, I will just keep going and then probably want more after that too.
Good thing I have a sequel then.
Excellent.
Well, let's sell Ryan right now in this book of yours. It's called Death Defiant. Is that the way we pronounce it? Death Defiant?
Yes, Death Defiant. So I have it right here. This is my husband's copy. So it is deceptively simple.
Yeah.
I wanted it that way on the cover because you go in a bookstore and there's all these books and they're beautiful covers.
Yeah.
They're amazing covers. They're really cool. And then there's this one that's just kind of like,
Yeah. Simple.
It's
It's got to
plain.
stand out. Yeah.
There's no clue. There's zero clue, right? And then of course, you have like the back, but I do have some delightful chapter art. I'm going to his
Awesome.
page.
Oh, cool.
But each character has their own chapter art because this is about the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Sounds
So
familiar.
we're dealing. It does. God, where was that from?
Yeah.
So we're dealing with sort of angels and demons.
Yep.
The demons are sentient beings within the people, right? And I can't spoil too much, but the main character, your female lead, Amara, she is sick. She's on disability. She's been sick for a long time. The doctors can't figure out what's wrong with her, right? She heads to the grocery store because she just had an episode, so she had time. Like, she's like, I won't be ill again for a while. I'm going to stock up on some food because I don't have anything to eat, right? All of a sudden, she has this episode there. And she feels sick. She busts through the back of the employee, where the employees go on break. And she's like puking her brains out, right? And one of the guys who works there comes and touches her back, and all of her symptoms go away.
Wow.
Like poof, right? There's 3 guys, and this is a wide choose, so she has more than one male love interest. And they are part of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and they all can remember some of their past lives, everything like that, but she can't. And they don't know why. She's also different than them, and they don't know why. She has black wings, and they don't know why. You have the 3 main guys. They all connect with her in very different ways, which I tried to make really apparent in my writing. And some of the reviews say that that was really well done, and some say that I can't write worth a shit. So we don't know.
You don't listen to
But
those anyway.
I
Don't
mean,
listen to the
look,
negative comments.
I'm happy with any rating or whatever because I think that it just gives a realistic view of who the book is for and who it isn't for.
Yeah.
You've got Ethan, who is the psychopath, and Caden is like your stoic guy, and Tristan is this highly narcissistic, very insecure man. So you've got sort of the range of it. The first book is more of them kind of getting their footing, figuring each other out, figuring out how they work together, and sort of deepening that connection. So I'm into the sequel right now. I'm about halfway, and it's a lot meatier. They're actually in hell, like going through hell, and I am following Dante's Inferno for a reference. But we've had a lot of fun. Like they get to gluttony, and it's Beelzebub's birthday party. And there's a flyer about the second coming of God, which is greasy, oily, and deep fried.
Wow.
There's Jesus fried chicken in the first book. So we have some of these little puns going on. But the first book is more like setting the tone for where they go with the second. Right, because we're going through hell in the second book, and that is updating bi-weekly on my Inkit currently with a very low cost subscription. It's like nothing. But the first one is sort of their development as people, their development with each other, and you get to see their powers, you get to see their demons and how they interact with their demons. So some of them have better relationships than the other. Some of them work in tandem with their demon, and some of them shove their demon to a little corner, and then the demon takes over and it freaks the hell out, and then everybody has a problem, right? So you sort of see the character development there. Questions? I don't know what else I can answer about it.
No, well, I mean, I literally went on and found it on Kindle Unlimited while you were talking and added it to my list. So
But of course you did.
I will definitely be checking that out over the next few days. And yeah, I will leave a review. I leave a review for all the stuff I read. So yeah.
It is spicy. There is it's what I guess I'm sure you know, it's open door spice. So the scenes are explicit. The first one when that starts, man, just strap in. Because it does not go how you think it's going to go. I will just tell you that.
We did meet through Rebecca Cassells, so if it's anything like her work, we expect it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know how similar they are, but if she does have open door spice, so yes.
Yes.
But I would say like mine don't. Mm, it's a little rough for
Yeah.
some
Okay.
of it. There's a little bit of a BDSM vibe to one of them. One of them, well, I can't tell you because it'll ruin it, but you're sitting there like, okay, this is great, this is wonderful. Oh, holy shit, what happened? Like I had someone yelling at me about it, and she's like, it was all sweet and all nice, and they were getting into it, and then all of a sudden there was a dungeon and there was a spreader bar, and I was like, yeah, well, okay, enjoy. So it still doesn't go how you think it's gonna go, by the way,
Yeah.
Ryan. So like
Yeah.
just be ready for that. Like my favorite thing to do when I'm writing is be like, okay, so the reader probably thinks that this is gonna happen. How can I make it not happen?
Mm.
How can I make this unexpected? What can I do, obviously, to bring the chaos, but also turn whatever trope this is on its head, right? So you'll also note in this book, there aren't any group scenes. So it is a why choose. There are 0 group scenes. There's just her and a guy one-on-one. I'm on chapter like 26 in the second one, and there's no smut because let's face it, they're going through hell. They have bigger things to worry about right
Yeah.
now. So that hasn't happened yet, but it didn't feel right to put. She has more than
Yeah.
one love interest, but it didn't feel right to put like more than one guy with her. I just let it tell itself. Um, but with some of the guys and the way they act or the way they are with her, I'm like, how can I make this a little, just twist that a little bit and make it
Yeah.
so that it's not predictable, so that it's not expected and surprise people, but also stay true to the character. So that's one of my favorite things to do, and sort of what I'm kind of known for doing is just kind of not. I don't follow the typical tropes. Even when I wrote that werewolf pile of crap that I was telling you about, I did not follow the typical tropes. There was no moon goddess, there was no mating bond, and there was no mind link. And people were like, "What is this?" I was like, "Well, aside from it being a pile of shit,
Yeah.
it is not going to follow the typical tropes because I don't like them." And
No, I
I've read them.
100% agree with that because I think, especially with the zombie genre, it's just, no offense, Jamie, yours is different, but
Yeah.
it's just done to death. And you don't want it to
Right.
be like the same as everyone else's.
Yep.
Like, oh, okay, I know how this is going to happen. Zombies going to bite them, they're going to turn, and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Same with like everything. You want it to be different.
Yeah.
That's not saying it can't be well done because it has been. I've read many that have been. And like I always have kind of fun side characters. So like for my werewolf one, there was a diabolical chicken. Yes. In this one, there's a Grim Reaper named Hans who crash lands around chapter 4. And he is German. He plays the accordion. He knits very brightly colored things. And he always yells Guten Tag. When he reaps, it's like a rave light show. And he rides a unicorn named Senor Sparkles, who eats hell tacos with a side of tormented souls. So they are your fun side characters. Um, Hans wears knee-high pleather, thigh-high pleather boots, like under his robes. He's like rocking these thigh-high pleather stilettos, right? I mean, the dude is just completely just wild. And he comes up several times in here. And he, of course, is in the sequel. But he does come up several times in here, and he actually takes one of the characters on a reaping. There is a little bit of sensitive stuff in here, and that involve like child death and stuff. So he does take somebody on a reaping, and you get to see him in action. And there's an imp as well who harasses one of our characters because she has a huge crush on him, and she is always climbing. She's like about like this big. She's like humping his water glass at the bar. She's climbing up his leg. She's hiding in his duffel bag with her tail sticking out. Like she's just a menace. She even passes out flyers that he's going to strip tease in purgatory, and all of the imps come running. All the imps come like in a herd. So you've got just a colorful cast, and just sort of add some spice into the whole story overall. But these characters do come back in the sequel, so it's not just like a one and done. And everything sort of ties together. At the end, everything ties together, but then you'll see these characters again, and you'll see more of actually their backstory as well, and not just the main characters, but you'll see the side characters who have been sort of prominent. You'll learn more about them.
Also, I'm actually really excited to read it after hearing you talk. You talk very passionately about it, obviously because it's your work. But I always find that that question that Jamie asked about tell us about the story. I listen a lot because I can tell if I'm going to enjoy the story by the amount of passion that the author shows for it. So I'm actually really looking forward to diving in this afternoon to your book. So. Hopefully, I'll have it done in a few days because, as I said, I can devour stuff that I love. But yeah, I can't wait, and then I'll have to wait for the sequel whenever that's going to come out.
I'm pushing for the summer, but life and work, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. And I'm also, working on making sure I'm giving people justice and the characters justice, and also staying true to kind of the lore with the Four Horsemen. There's some really fun things planned. Right now, I'm currently in a chapter about a cruise ship in hell. Bet you didn't know there was a cruise ship.
Wow.
Do now.
And it's everything you think it is. It's a cruise ship with all of these annoying little things like a dripping faucet, squeaky stairs, every little inconvenience. The elevator's always broken, the food's always cold. Everything you can think of that would
So a legitimate cruise ship out here.
Right, exactly. And they're on it. So just trying to stay true to their lore, but also add my own little kind of flair and sort of push into that. And like I said, it's not as quite as apparent in book one, but you have to have a base to start somewhere. And I can't just bust into this without introducing people to these characters. And then these things are going to happen, and they're not going to understand why these characters can come back from it or why they're acting a certain way if they don't understand the bond that the characters have first.
Exactly.
Because when I say some shit goes down, I mean some shit absolutely goes down. Each of the guys has a circle, like they're the Four Horsemen. You've got war, you've got famine, and you've got pestilence. Well, there's all circles in hell. So when these guys get to their circles, of course, some stuff happens. So you've got a whole, I guess, just a ruckus going on in book two. It's just a ruckus. Honestly, that's the best way I can describe it. So book one sort of introduces you to like my kind of writing, my kind of crazy. And then book two, so it's been an interesting process to say the least, and it's just been fun being able to sort of go wild with it. Like Jamie said, and like you said, Ryan, like we can just do whatever we want. And now, who knows? Maybe someone's going to have gladiator armor made out of alligator skin with a chariot pulled by emus.
And a one-legged warrior.
If you read the second book and there's something like that in there, you're going to be like, there it is.
Yeah. So have you got any more past the sequel? Are you planning? Is it going to be a longer series, or is that something that's going to come to you after you finish the second book? You're going to go, okay, we're done, or we've got more stories to tell.
As far as like this one goes, I think that there is actually going to be a trilogy because they have to go through hell, but where do they go after hell? There's only one other place they got to go to. So they got to go up there too. And the books are not they're not that thick, you can see. And so if this one, and it should be about the same length, if not more, then I can get that one out and then I can keep working on the third one. I want to ideally, each one of the covers is going to look the same, but they're going to be different colors, right? So like the volume 2, since we're going through hell, might be red, and volume 3 might be white, just to symbolize the differences. But after that, I have tons more stories in my head that I want to write. And it's like an exercise in self-control to not just start typing stories down frantically,
Yeah.
because there's so much going on that I'm like, oh, I should write a story about that, or I should write a story about this, or man, that would make a really good story. And I'm like, stop it. You have to write what you're writing right now because you're not done.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll stop telling stories. I'd like to go back and revise, not the werewolf one, please. That just needs to
Do it.
die.
Do it. Do it.
No,
Main
we can sign
character
Rebecca
Ryan.
up to
Main
do it.
character Ryan.
I really want to revise Rise of the Fallen, which is an angel and demon, well, more angels. It's dystopian angels.
Wow.
One. And I would love to revise that and get that out. That would be my priority, because that one actually is really violent, but it's also, I think, probably one of my favorites to write. There is not a happily ever after, which gives me great joy when people tell me they cry. Most of my readers know that too. They're like, damn it, you made me cry. I'm like, yes, I was trying. But that's a dystopian fallen angels one. And that would be my next one. Is I'd want to revise that one with what kind of I know now, and make that better after I complete this series. But this one was swirling around my head forever about the Four Horsemen and how to make it my own and incorporate lore, but also make these characters interesting and fun and relatable, and have like the cool side crew. Like, you're gonna see there's more than just obviously Hans and Ember, but these side characters all have their purpose. There's a reason I'm introducing you to them, and it's not just for funsies. Like pay attention, because this isn't just like bye. They're coming back, and you're going to see them again, and like take note of them. So I'm not just one of those where it's not going to slot in at some point, but it's just how it does it. And when it does it, usually surprises people. They're usually not quite ready for whatever I like. You think I'm swerving right and I go left. Like, it's,
Yeah.
that's my goal, is to keep the reader interested, but keep them on their toes and break tropes at the same time.
Cool. So what kind of I guess research or literature did you kind of read to get to know everything about, the Four Horsemen, and is there one you kind of modeled it off, or a whole lot of different
I don't know if
stuff?
you've read Dante's Inferno.
No.
So I've read it before, but it's been a while. But I got the snippets of it, like the Cliff Notes version of it,
Yep.
and modeled my circles in a lot of ways after that, as well as what you could find in them. Obviously, gluttony is gluttony, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to find in gluttony?
Hmm.
Well, probably not Beelzebub's birthday party,
Yeah.
but we found it anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but in heresy, it's people roast in a fire for all eternity.
Yeah.
So I made them into rotisserie humans. It's just sort of a matter of like interpretation.
Yeah.
In like Wrath, there's a swamp, and it's supposed to be like really miserable and gross, but I made it like a Florida Everglades swamp with the Furies, who I kept their same names. And so when I was kind of going through all of that, I used that as my reference, as well as sort of a character reference for these guys, of what I imagined them like based on what I was reading.
Oh, cool.
But if you pay attention on it, like the characters are not always like their demons. So like in some ways, some of the characters might be similar, but in some of them, they're the complete opposite. And you'll see some of that happening too. Like, there's one that gets along really well with his demon, and they're very much in sync. But pay attention to who it is, because that comes back later. Like, it's not like I don't have a plan,
Yeah.
It's one of those where, that's who he is, and why is he getting along with his demon so well, and what's going to happen? And then it's like, you get to volume 2 and you see it, and it's like, oh, well then. So it's just going to be surprising. But I did do a lot of the research for the Horsemen, kind of what they represent. And they talk about conquest and war being like the same sort of thing and I went with war specifically because that is the more common
Yeah.
version. So, um, lots of research into things, trying to incorporate just a little bit of lore into it, as well as making it my own thing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It
That's
was a lot of fun
cool.
to research. Of
Yeah.
course, my browser history at work was interesting.
Mm.
They can't pull that.
No.
They're gonna be like, "What's wrong with this girl?"
You're they'll think you're just trying to be the next Constantine. Yeah.
Listen, that wouldn't be so bad. That was a good movie.
What do you think of the show?
I haven't seen the show.
You haven't? Oh, you got to watch it. It's one season. It was on
Like, I'm just adding it
CW.
on my list of things.
Like the fact that it only got one season and never got another one is like the biggest rort because Matt Ryan is the perfect Constantine. Like he walks off the pages, and yes,
See, I love the movie.
yeah. I
Again,
heard
any
that-
movie like that, like I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I heard they're doing another one with Keanu.
I like him. He's just really old now, it seems, to be doing another
Yeah.
Constantine.
Well, I did see a post about him talking about John Wick 5, and he's going like, "I'd love to, but my knees can't do it."
I mean, like,
So-
at least he's honest.
yeah, and look, he was great as a hedgehog in the new Sonic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet. I want to
Yeah.
see it.
There's a few nods to John Wick in it.
It's 100%. He's John Wick as like a hedgehog. Seriously, like it's his voice. Like we've spoken about this before, me and Jamie, how he's kind of set to a role.
Yeah,
Obviously early on it was comedy, and now it's kind of like action. But his voice for Shadow is just absolutely
perfection.
I actually, that's one franchise of movies that has gotten better with every sequel.
Yeah,
And I've
Yeah,
seen,
that actually has. I'm with you there because my son loves Sonic, so we've seen all of them.
yeah.
We haven't gone to this one yet, so now I'm looking forward to it because usually I'm like, ugh, kid movie.
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a kids movie, to be honest with
It
you.
hasn't for the
It
past
doesn't.
couple.
If it's a kids movie, it's a kids movie for us because we grew up with Sonic.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey.
Yes, not for them.
You know?
Jim Carrey is fantastic as Dr. Robotnik.
His mustache.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. But definitely
Just-
make sure you see the third one because it just gets it's better than the sequel. And
Well, I like Shadow, so
And
Yeah.
Keanu.
definitely. And then obviously, they set it up for another one, so at least we're gonna get some more. So make sure you stay after the little credits because there's a post-credit scene. So
Mm.
all right. Post credit.
I think it's
Taking notes.
if you know the Sonic universe, it's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I know it unwillingly because child.
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the Sonic movies. When Jamie messaged me on Christmas Eve and said, "Hey, do you want to go see Sonic?" I'm like, "Yep, yes, please." Because my wife has no interest in seeing Sonic, and she's my normal moviegoer partner. And she's like, "Just go with Jamie." I said, "Yeah, I'll go with Jamie."
Jamie, taking the hit for the team.
Clearly, she doesn't like Keanu Reeves as much as she says she does.
My wife is obsessed with Keanu Reeves, to the point where Jamie got her a life-size standee of Keanu Reeves. And I told her that. I said, "You do realize Keanu is the voice of Shadow?" And she justified it by saying, "Well, you don't actually see him. So there's no
say-
connection to-"
I was about to say that's why she didn't go because she couldn't see Keanu.
Yeah. I said, "But you
Mhm.
picture, I pictured Shadow as the movie went on with Keanu features as, obviously not exactly like him, but you could see in the eyes, in the mouth of Shadow, I could see Keanu, but no, she hasn't seen any of the other ones because I think I went to see the first two with Jamie and our friends. So I was like, that's cool. I'll just go with Jamie and you can sit alone at home and watch your Keanu standee and,
That's an awesome gift though. Seriously.
I've done it for a few people. I got my niece when The Greatest Showman came out. She was obsessed with Hugh Jackman, so I got her a Hugh Jackman cardboard cutout because she said she wanted. I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And then she said, "Hugh Jackman." Ha 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 ha. And I went, "Challenge
You got one.
accepted." So I got her a full standee, and it was hilarious. The best video of her walking into a room, and it was all set up. Uh,
Jamie's
Do that to
awesome
someone.
when when he knows you like an actor, he will latch on to that. Like every Christmas, he's got my wife a
Yeah.
Keanu. Like he got her this little book of Keanuisms or something,
yeah,
like everything, and she loves that. He's just got a coasters based on I think it was a John Wick
yeah. It was
picture.
John Wick and like it was Keanu Reeves in like an old school medieval, no, not
Yeah.
medieval, like kingly costume or whatever, like a
So
portrait,
we got posters of Keanu and like everything
a
Keanu, every
pillow.
pillow, yeah, a Keanu pillow, which she absolutely loves, and that's a good thing about Jamie. When he finds out who you like, he'll just that's it. Like for
That's
me,
what you
I'm a
get.
massive Batman fan. I'm a comic book fan, so I'm pretty easy to buy for.
Mm,
But yeah, he just outdoes it every year. So yes, Keanu as Shadow is top notch.
it's not much. Yes.
It's like nothing less from Keanu, honestly.
Mm.
Yep.
I do enjoy him. Can't say I've had the experience of him as a cartoon, but we'll see.
There you go. Well, I think you're right, Ryan. We are encroaching in on Martin Kern's podcast
Yep.
length time, which is fine, because
But
it's not like I have to.
he would just reach out and want to come on again and take it
Yeah,
even further, take it,
but
make it.
it's harder for him because he's in New York. So you know,
Yeah.
We're the same time zone.
yeah.
He and
No,
I are the
also
same time zone.
he likes to come on when he's put the kids to bed. You know,
So it's like
so
8:30-ish when he
I,
comes on.
yeah, and
And
then
then we go for like almost 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And by then he's
yeah.
absolutely knackered.
You can in real time see him getting more tired as it goes on,
Oh my
you know.
God,
You know,
Yeah.
poor guy.
but it's just good. You get along with people, you talk about, more about them and pop culture than their books, and it's just which I like to do because I like to not just sell the books, I like to sell the person, if you know what I mean. Like, let's get to
Yeah.
know the person behind the books, you know.
Yeah,
I
100%.
mean,
That's what I mean
pretty
with the passion
open.
that comes across. 100% the passion comes across.
Yep.
Like we like to make this feel like a chat between two friends, like
Yep.
we've known each other for years, and at the end of the day, you're a friend, but you've got this book that you've written, and we want to promote it and
Yeah.
put it out to everyone, and but it's also an informal chat about
Yep.
who you are as a person and what you do, and that I think will get more people to buy the book than just
Yeah.
getting on and talking about the book itself.
I mean, I agree. I just think it's fun to just even hang out with you guys and have this chance, but also get to know people on the
Yeah.
other side of the world where other things try to kill you than they do in Florida. And
Yes.
just talk about life and stuff in general that affects everybody
Mm.
and other perspectives, and just have a conversation, because people don't do that as much anymore.
No.
Yeah. And I think like COVID, again, going back to COVID kind of cut us off. It was, I think if I didn't have my wife, I think I would have gone crazy, to be honest with you, if I had to just stay in my house by myself 24 hours a day. Like where I was working, we work from home. So I would literally get up, log on,
Yep.
work, log off, have dinner, go to bed, rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? There was no going out, there was no hanging out or whatever. And I think that's where, I mean, because things like Zoom and Skype and everything have become really good because of COVID, but I think we've lost that feeling of actually just having a chat and catching up. And I think that's why I love doing this podcast so much, even though I'm not a writer, because I enjoy meeting new people, I enjoy reading, I enjoy just getting to know the person behind the book, and I find I'll enjoy the book more if I know more about the person behind the book, and as I said, with the passion that comes across, it just makes me more excited to read the book. So, 100%.
Like, you're gonna read some things, you're gonna be like, I can see her, that naughty little bitch, writing this, giggling the whole entire time. Like you're gonna read that and you're gonna be like, yep, she was totally laughing her ass off right here.
Exactly. And that's the best thing about this podcast, is because I can actually, like, especially with Martin Kearns, me and him, when I first went into hospital, we got really close. Like we would talk every day and all that. And I can see when I read his books, I can go, oh, that's all. That's 100% what he was going through on that day. Or I can tell he was laughing his ass off while he wrote that. Or I can tell that he had to go to a dark place to do this. And that's what I love about this podcast, because I feel like we get to know each other, and I can see parts of the authors in the books that I read, and I really, really like that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I'll some of my readers will joke around. There's a picture, like a meme, where it's got Wednesday and then it's got her like werewolf friend who's all bright and sunny. And it says like the author and then it says the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, you really need to dress differently and present yourself differently because your writing is not like sunny and friendly like you are. It's like dark-ish.
Yeah.
Anywhere from like semi-dark to totally black. And they're like, so you just need to like maybe just dress in all black, do some heavy black eyeliner, dye your hair black, like no, but hi, I'm here and I love everybody. So
let's read about death.
yeah. Someone's throat got ripped out. Let's read about it. Yay, let's make the blood spray.
Hey kids, I'm here to talk to you about all the animals that are gonna kill you in Australia. And how some of them live in my backyard.
That could be a reason why that you're so happy-go-lucky and the writing's dark, because you're getting it out and you're putting it down on paper. Therefore, there's nothing left inside.
Yeah, the rage. It goes back to the zombie apocalypse plan. Like the rage will come out, and I will just go on a spree, and all of that like pent up rage is going to end up on a zombie. And I mean, cool. I'm like saving the human race and venting my frustrations. It's a win-win.
And the soundtrack, I can see the soundtrack will be that I see your true colors.
Okay, listen, either that or the Prodigy, one of the two. Or maybe like a mix, right? We've got the Prodigy with the True Colors overplay.
Yeah. Well, that's the world right now. All these movies do these old school songs in slow motion, and that's all the rage now.
Music from like our time as kids was the best music. Like I don't know what the music is now, but I'm just no, thank you.
Yeah, I don't listen to any new music. I have the same bands that I used to listen to 20 years ago. I have punk rock, which is what the band was, and then I have my old school rap from back in the 90s, and that's all I listen to in terms of music. I won't listen to anything new because it's not. I feel like we're getting to be those people. It's not. They don't make music like they used to.
Yeah.
It's all of our stuff is oldies now, but like I saw TikTok and it was this woman and she's like, she makes this face and she's like, to make this face. And like these 90s rap songs come on, right? And she's just dancing to them. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. All those songs, like that's the same face I make, and I just start dropping it. Like we all know what they are. And now I don't know what this crap is they listen to. Like my son doesn't even like it. Yeah. He asks for Imagine Dragons on the radio. What else does he like? He likes death metal.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Unintentionally likes death metal. We were out by the fire pit one night and we took Alexa out there and my husband started playing it on Alexa and Caleb fell asleep to it.
I'm a massive death metal fan too. I absolutely love my first concert back since I had my leg taken off is going to be Slipknot, because my wife's like, that's going to be your first concert. You're going, because it's in the Superdome, which is a massive arena. There's plenty of disabled stuff, so I'm pumped to see Slipknot.
Yeah, just don't do any of that. Like, just roll down this ramp thing there. Like,
I don't know. I'm pretty good at that now. I'm pretty good. I just put my arms out, and people just move out of the way.
Yeah,
you're gonna give people heart attacks.
They're going to a Slipknot concert. I think they're going to have one, regardless.
So probably true.
I just won't be going in the mosh pit, unfortunately.
Oh, you don't want people to lift you up on your chair? Just
no. That's what I was like. The Jewish weddings, like.
No, I don't think like I said, I'm not afraid of anything, but I don't trust people in a Slipknot pit to actually do that, because I have been in one, and last time we were in one, my wife got knocked out, so it's not a very safe area. So we're getting seats this time.
Yeah, maybe don't advise that so much.
Yeah.
You can always roll over their feet, though. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
just revenge for the past, roll over all their toes and break them. I didn't tell you that though. Allegedly.
Oh, there you go. See, you're listening. I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us
That's amazing. Really
where
good.
can we follow you? Where can we buy your books? Plug yourself away.
So you can buy my book on Amazon. It is free on Kindle Unlimited, so you have that option. If you do buy it, I can send you a book plate, maybe. I know, Ryan, if you buy it, I can send you a book plate. It's like just like $1 or something to send in a regular envelope. I can sign it so you have like a signed copy if you want something like that. I don't know if your listeners would like something like that. Obviously, I don't know how they would let me know. They can harass me on social media and tell me. So my Facebook group is Charlotte's Chaos Corner. And that is also my name on Insta without the apostrophe after the E. So it's Charlotte's Chaos Corner, one word on Insta. I'm on Inkit as Charlotte Chaos, which is where you can read the sequel. So you can catch up. So I think there's 22 chapters so far published on that one. TikTok is Charlotte Chaos Author. And I think that's all my socials. I do have an author profile on Facebook as well, but most of my stuff where I update the group and everything and I post teasers is in the Facebook group. So, and that is where most of my readers hang out, where other authors come in and do takeovers. So they talk about their books. So it's sort of like not a podcast like this, but it is like showcasing them in their work.
Oh, awesome. I
So they come and they do I have one tomorrow and she's going to do a takeover for the whole day, talk about her books, do games, do giveaways, things like that. So it's a chance for her to connect with the group as well. And so that is Charlotte's Chaos Corner on Facebook. And that is usually where I do the bulk of my stuff. I'm trying to get better at like Instagram and TikTok, but I'm old and bad with technology. So it's just kind of a hot mess, but I try my best. So.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you guys for listening. Check out our sponsors, Rebecca Cassells, Martin Kearns. Check out me too. I got books you can buy if you want to laugh, and they're all comedies pretty much, except for the one I'm working on now, letting out the darkness inside me. But
now I'm gonna need that one.
Let the darkness flow through.
Yes, I did put a post up saying I said these are the influences, or like the idea came from a video game called Horizon Zero Dawn, and then it went off into War of the Worlds is an inspiration. The Road is an inspiration. There's a whole lot of ideas that have come from a whole lot of different sources, making it my own, but stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, reach out at thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. We're on all the socials. All the links are down below. All Charlotte Chaos's links are down below too. Check her stuff out, and we'll catch you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.